Well, goddamn, I gotta click the button first, right? Okay. I'm looking at this notification. Like this noti talking about some girl. I don't do no virtue. Okay. So here we go. Why divestors despise any kind of black spirituality? Anything that is associated with blackness makes them gag. Okay. Now, let's get to a bit of my story. And it's not going to be long. It's like basically, I have gone through a lot of growth since my 30s. A lot of anger, a lot of anger, a lot of escapism. And even through my escapism, I was very well aware of what I was doing and the choices that I was making. And that's why these choices did not continue. And that's why these choices did not turn into me being a baby mama, a wife, dead, in jail. I had to pick life up and start again. But I did not realize how much life was going to take me down a major healing path of growth and maturity and self awakening. I know I always say self unfoldment, but it was self awakening, like looking in the mirror. Understand anything that I talk about with reason. It's never to crash down on anybody or give harsh criticism, say things to trigger you, stuff like that. What I have come to see is that what is very deep about how I always say the dark psychology of divestors. If you notice, my titling is a bit different now. That's on purpose. What I have noticed is that divestors, a lot of y'all have gotten to the point where y'all like, I don't even watch nothing with them no more. I don't watch nothing with them. I do not care. But sometimes I watch it because it can be entertaining, because I do like to hear what's being said. But one thing I notice is there is a big gap between the regions of America, the South, the North, the Midwest, the West Coast, the Southern West Coast, the Southern Midwest. You get what I'm saying? The South, South, the North, North. That's the New York City, that's the Connecticut, the Bostons, the Maine, the upstate New York, the Rhode Island, I guess you can count Northern Jersey, right? There's a separatism. There's a major separatism of the people and the mentality of how we all experience white supremacy and racism. There's this attacking and mockery that constantly goes on, right? So much that is triggering. And when you're a spiritual person, your eyes see things differently. And so, why is it that being spiritual is instantly gives you the target of being a mammy? I'm going to tell you why. Because if you're spiritual, it means you're going to have understanding, overstanding, understanding, and compassion for the situation of Black people. So therefore, any type of compassion or kind of empathy or almost forgiveness means that you're going to go down the path of mammyism. I don't agree with that. And I say this as a woman who has been around such culture, and I'm always meeting people of culture. And every time I talk and I listen to everybody's experience of how they experience racism in this white supremacy, or how you just got to call it white supremacy. There's no even point of saying racism. It's white, it's white supremacy. Okay? Everybody of brown, dark, black, brown, of color, however you want to name it, all experience white supremacy. And this is the world that we're in. And the divestors are experiencing white supremacy as well. Because it sounds crazy, right, to some of you. It sounds childish. It sounds like these people don't really know life. You know, that's the number one thing. These people don't know life. I sit here and I've heard divestors who be like, well, you know, I'm out of country and I'm with my Brad and this and that, my husband and this and that. So you have a lot of still the male centeredness that goes on. Yeah, we already know that already. And I've already expressed to you, you can go look at the whole series of the dark psychology of the divestor, where I break into who can sit at the table of divestors and who cannot sit at the table of divestors. And it all is very funny because this situation with Trump is opening the eyes of people to see that, how do I say this? Excuse me. What true white supremacy is. Hispanic, Latin, right? You niggas too. You just the light-skinned, pretty hair niggas. Black immigrants, Hispanic immigrants, Latin immigrants. Get your nigga ass back to your country, right? We see that. But notice that these people's brains is cracking. And they're like, they can't handle it. And they're so internally fucked up, right? That the only thing that they can say is they can attack the people that they know they can't attack. It's low-key bullying. You can't, they can't go, fuck you, this, that, and the third, because to white supremacy, because they know their plan was always trying to be a part of what white supremacy was by putting down the black and brown people. And it's the same thing with the divestors. And all of this stuff in this world is not happening for no reason, because those of us that are wise, that educate ourselves, I agree, we are humble people. We're very humble. We don't view life that way. We realize that it is about intelligence. It is about knowledge and wisdom and information. And another thing that stands out to me is that these divestors don't get out. They live very closed, secluded lives. And the divestors that actually do get out, the ones that actually do go out in this world and actually have very lucrative careers, they're not online talking about their lives. Just think about it. They don't have the time to dedicate a calling to sound the alarm for Black women or other divestors to leave the Black community or Blackness altogether, right? See, when you understand that it's a cultural thing, when Caribbeans are like, I'm black, but I'm not. It's always I'm black, but I'm not that kind of black. You get what I'm saying? I'm not their kind of black or their kind of black. See what I'm saying? I'm Hispanic, but I'm not their kind of Hispanic. I'm Latin, but I'm not their kind of Hispanic, not their kind of Latin. And it's all of this separatism. And then the divestors stand up here, and if you really listen to them, how many of them are with a Russian male? I actually know a black woman who has children by a Russian man, who had children by a Russian man. And oh, that's a whole story in itself. I actually know of black women who dated European males out here, a very different breed than the American Caucasian male, right? But you have these women that, every single one of them seems to be with a Polish. I find that very interesting because if we know the Polish, the Irish, even the Jewish are the niggas of the white community. The Pakistans, we know that they sand niggas, right? Those of us that have this knowledge and wisdom. You know how I know this and I put this together? Any place where anybody is in the hood with black people or a part of being them. And let me tell you how it snapped in me. Okay, so I was chit chatting with a Japanese friend. All right, shout out to you. And I said the Koreans are the niggas of the Asian culture. She said, "Oh no, hell no, hell no." She said the Chinese, and I thought about it. I said, that's why you got so many motherfucking Chinese stores. That's why you got the Chinese running a nail salon. That's why the Chinese are with the Jamaicans. That's why the Chinese own the hair and beauty spots to support stores and they hire Jamaicans and other Caribbeans. That's why the Chinese be out here fighting with the black people. Makes sense. The Pakistan are all in the bodega. Now you do have your Spanish there, your Dominicans, your Puerto Rican. I never really, I think only one time I experienced a Spanish bodega. I don't know where they were from. I want to say they were Dominican. I don't remember, but they got robbed by their own people. It was crazy. Their own people came all the way from somewhere. They weren't even from Queens and they robbed them. I don't care. I be thinking those are hits. I think other stores be telling people to rob of it. So I think it's a underground game with that, but that's another topic. But other than that, all the corner stores that I experienced all had Packy, sand niggas, all of them. Okay. And these are the people amongst black people. Now, the Italians are not excused, but there's levels to the Italians as well, because I noticed that the Italians that be on the TV shows, they still show love to other Italians and stuff, the American Italians, but they don't like that the way that the American talk that American Italian language. But that's between them. But they still be associated with black people. It's anybody who knows, y'all know what I'm talking about. Even though they own like the construction sites and restaurants and stuff like that, y'all know what I'm saying. But still, these people are all intertwined with one another. But you want to talk about true white supremacy? You think a divestor would be married into the Trump family? You want to talk about true white supremacy? You think that a divestor is going to be married into the royal family? I mean, wait a minute. I got to take it back because don't we got Meghan Markle? But let's look at Meghan Markle. We know that many of these divested are dark-skinned black women. Let's not play these games. These are not your 2009 divested black women. Before was the time of talking about it, that was talking about having mixed babies and mixing and having mixed babies. Those were the light-skinned curly hair racially ambiguous, what you call exotical black women. They were actually, excuse me, women. They were actually the first ones that were talking about mixing and swirling and all of that. I think then swirling got big with more dark skinned black. This is from my understanding, from what I remember back in that time. Then it was swirling was a dark skinned black woman's term and stuff like that, mainly Caribbean black women. I heard say that. I've actually had a black woman who is a Jamaican woman who said, you know, we should mix our babies. We should have more mixed babies. Da 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 da. Right? She was beautiful. She was Jamaican and British. She is Jamaican and British. Excuse me. And so we have all of this, right? But look what really, like, let's tell the truth for once, people. What do we see beautiful, darker skinned black women go through when they truly date a European male? Do y'all ever really pay attention to what happens to her? What she's going through in that relationship? Wait. I'm not trying to talk down because there's plenty successful relationships. But when you really listen to these black women, you're going to hear underneath what's really going on over there. Has anyone ever listened to Holly Berry? Now we know Holly Berry. We all know her story. Her mom, her dad's black, her mom's white, something like that, right? Am I correct about that? I can Google it, but yeah. And she's with this French man, and she talks about the disrespect of the family members talking French to her child, her daughter, while she's sitting there. And she expressed all this on the Wendy Williams show. Go watch it. And she was like, don't talk French to my child in front of me. And like you could see her get upset while she was talking. And I was like, oh, because Wendy Williams is a water sign. So people, double water signs. So people are very prone to get their true feelings out to her. I've noticed that. And so I was like, and the next thing you know, maybe a year later, you heard Holly Berry's getting a divorce. When I listen, I was always wondering, why is these divestors going so hard to say the N-word, monkey, apes, and then they attack, the fags and this, that, and the third? Because I was just like, damn. So now to dig deeper, we have to now attack the rainbow mafia. Like, y'all, you gotta attack the rainbow, gotta attack us. Like, what? How did the rainbow mafia get in this? Because this is all a part of. See, it's something underneath that. I'm going to tell you what that is. So, those of you who've been around for a long time, who have knowledge, wisdom, you know what I'm saying. You know that it's been out there that in the Caribbean, especially Jamaica, they will buck break the slaves. And we know that this is what would happen to the males. But see, here's the thing. This did not just happen in the Caribbean. We know for a fact we know for a fact that the ancestors were being abused on a horrible level. They were slaves. People can do anything to them from birth into older. Okay. So it's no secret that was going on. And I bet you the black male who was the closest to the slave master probably was his buck wench, And I think like that's kind of like the thing that's not talked about, but it is. And we're gonna get into the person who put that out there. What the hell was his name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. The Keys to Color. No, Keys to Color is Francis Cress Wilson, but he called himself something similar to her. But y'all know who I'm talking. Tariq Nasheed or some shit, right? Is that it? And so the divestors took that and said, well, look at all you fags. Look at all you black men fags. I don't have no manhood. And y'all this and y'all that. Because they're digging that from the womb of the abuse. They're in slavery. Now, if anybody's divested and they listen to me talk, as this person that just came in here now and just ran off, I am going to sound like a complete mammy. I am not welcomed and I am not liked at all by divestors. And I am okay with that. Okay? I am okay with that. I understand in the divested world, in a divested world, um, whatever they can do to mentally and psychologically yank they self away from anything of blackness, no matter if they have to look down at their skin and touch it and see that it's brown or dark. They don't, they hate that shit. They hate it. And they clown and say, well, what are y'all? Are y'all Hebrew Israelites? Are y'all Christians? Are y'all Muslims? Are y'all, what are y'all? Y'all spiritual? Are y'all Hotepers? That's digging into the womb again, because everything has been so spread out in white supremacy. Because what's so dark is everybody doing all these religions and shit, and they don't believe in none of it. They're knocking on your door talking about this and that, and they don't even believe in what they it's all for monitoring. It's all to case the place. It's condescending. I'm trying to tell you, these people don't believe in the shit that they're putting at you. They don't. And that's what's so deep about white supremacy. And then these divestors, they wonder, well, how is it we preach all this and the black woman still end up being with a black man? And at this point, we don't care because we don't want y'all over there. We're gonna get the, because I told y'all about why they have this standard and gatekeeping that they're doing, which is very masculine of them to do, like just to gatekeep what they want the black woman to be when she goes over there to date outside her race, when there's still levels to the black woman and who she goes and dates. I'm trying to tell you, the black woman that I personally see who goes out there and dates smart and can date her a European male the way that she wants to date him and live the life the way that she wants to live her life, is the African woman. It is the African woman. She is very clever at who she puts in her arms and who she marries in that European diaspora. Is there a European diaspora? She is. She knows. She has an eye for that. She speaks their languages. She speaks multiple languages. And then on top of that, right? Have you noticed that we know, first of all, whatever spiritual practices that you have is your personal spiritual practice. Speaking of that, let me move this candle. I just thought about that. 1 second. 1 second. I tried. I'm coming, y'all. 1 second. Damn it, that's up. It's just drop like, okay. And so I forgot where I was at, but they attack all of this because I forgot where I was at. Oh yeah. So you have these American women who are very American and very proud to be, and there's nothing wrong with that, who clearly do not have a cultured background. I don't think I don't think people in America don't have a culture. My brother says America doesn't have a culture. I'm like, okay, I can see that. I can see what you're saying, but there is culture in America. Even though America doesn't have I get it. There's no, but there's still culture in America. And you don't have truly a culture. You're very proud to be American. Nothing wrong with that. You don't have a background that calls for a spiritual path that's different than the people who stand on this soil. I have noticed people who have Indian in their family, even if the family is very religious, they still live their life differently than people who are said to be fully American. We don't have to get into the Caribbean, who spiritually live their life differently, think differently, move differently than the American. Okay? And then I don't have to keep going on, right? They don't have this. These people have not even opened their lives to go to other spaces where Black people are, to even get a glimpse of their experience, to get a glimpse of the women out there who do date interracially, and as well as their own. There are women out there that date all cultures and races, and they can still give you the same wisdom that they have gained from every male that they have dated. There are women out there who have, how do I say this? They speak multiple languages. So therefore, they have opened the doors to be around other cultures of people. All of these different things connect to one thing. And the one thing it connects to is they don't want anything that connects to Black community or the Black community, as they say. I don't even know where they get that from. And this is why you have women, I have to say this name, like Kendall St. Charles, who pops up every 5 years, because she do. She posts a picture of herself on the beach in her condo, talking about being 50 years old, because she's well into 50 now. She's about to be close to 60 in another 3 years. In the life and what she has learned. And she's even said to herself, I was so stupid. She even have said that I was so fucking stupid and everything. And I don't beat myself down like that. And I suggest you not beat yourself down like that. And what happened was, she talks about many things on so many levels. And the first thing that their response to her is, well, I heard about your mental condition, and this is the dude that you're with, and show the picture of the dude that she's with, and just make complete mockery of her. Don't get me wrong, it's clever. You know, I like a good clever debate. I do. I like cleverness. And What happened was I thought about it. I thought about it. And I'm like, they're very good at digging at you, right? They're very good at triggering you in certain spaces. I had one time listened to them and the person got very upset. Oh, please turn that off. They can't stand the homophobia though. They just like, please turn it off. Just no. And so I sat down and time has passed. And I'm like, understand something. As you are learning life, opening your books, whatever, who those you really been following this show for a long, listening and tuning into me for a long time and has been a part of my growth. I do appreciate you. I will say that I do appreciate you. And I want you all to know I made the decision to focus on myself and all the things that I want to do for myself, especially since I hit 40. Okay. I mean, it would be beautiful to do a podcast and be consistent and talk to you, but I can't. Okay. I can't do it no more because I want to live life. I want to come on this type of platform, like in these spaces, to learn and listen to audiobooks. This is why. But let's get besides that. Those of you who are knowledgeable, informational, those of you who've been here and you read history, you've read books on a different path than what most are reading or even know about. You have people who have come on this show and talked to you and told you about the stuff. You've been here for a while, right? You do understand one thing. When you have that level of knowledge, wisdom, and experience, you have and a perception of things in with more depth, right? So even when you say, "Hey, I am a divested, whatever you may be, black woman, black man, whatever," when you say you're divested, there's some wisdom, there's some intelligence within you when you make that decision. Even if you know, monkey apes and all that stuff, you ain't even on it. In the word of the hard R, you're not even on all that. You're doing it for your spiritual wealth. See, I don't, it becomes, I don't date people like this or choose to even be friends with people like this because this is the path that I walk on. And as I walk this path, there is a certain energy, a vibratory alignment of people who can walk this path with me. And this particular energy can't. I'm being for real. You cannot, you'll be very distracted if you want some divested shit. And anybody who's just non-black, you just think that they can be somebody that you can just parlay with or think that you and this person will instantly have some type of connection. That is a terrible mistake to think. That is a terrible mistake to think. I have to tell you that. Mistake. All right. Some people I know is a terrible mistake to do, but it is a terrible mistake to think that way. That's dangerous. Because that motherfucking fly. Come here, bitch. You better go. Because that can put you in a compromising position in almost abusing yourself type position. Being a divestor, to divest from anything, because that word is a big word now. It's not so much about dating, it's just about your life. It's about alignment. And to divest from things, I'm going to get into a story to why. What you say you don't want, you will attract, because you know why? You're putting into the energy into it of saying you don't want it. And the universe does not hear it that way. It just feels energetically what you are saying. So therefore, if you say, I don't want this, Chief Keef, I don't like, I don't like, I don't like, you're going to attract every single thing you say you don't like, every single thing you don't want. The universe tests me all the time. I'd be like, oh, I don't like that line. And then here I am on that motherfucking line that I don't like. So I don't put no energy into it. I learned to not put energy into anything. That was the thing I had, ultimate test for me. And then on top of that, you know, I remember in the dating world, in the dating pool, I went through all of that. I didn't want nobody with dread. Hold on. Yeah, you lost me there. Okay. This is exactly why I'm not pro-black. Black women and black men openly pretend they denounce people who date out, yet the experience we learn from us, from dating within our race, our entire life. No, let me dissect. Let's unpack what you just said here. Don't go nowhere. Let's unpack this. You lost me there. This is exactly why I'm not pro-black. Oh, that's absolutely fine, because as I stated, again, I don't know where you're from. I'm from New York City. I also have a Caribbean background. I also have a Spanish background, but I do not speak Spanish or patois. You know, that was by choice. Well, I have a story behind that, but it was by choice. So please understand, I come from a very immigrant culture background, and my cousins and everybody and all of us are all mixed Caribbean, and it's, you know, we don't use the term Hispanic, but Spanish, right? So just let you know my background. So I know a lot of black people who do not date even American black people, or they don't deal with black people at all. So just understand that divestment is separatism. Okay, you know, just want to put that out there. Black women and black men openly pretend they denounce people who date out, yet I don't. I say it's an alignment. You date who you align with. You're friends with who you're aligned. Fuck dating. You're friends with who you're aligned with. Okay, so yet the experience we learn from us, from dating with our race our entire lives. I didn't denounce that. I didn't denounce that at all. It really doesn't matter what race you date. If you're not healed within yourself, or you're not paying attention to what's reflecting in your relationship, it does not matter who you date. It does not matter the race. If you got some kind of childhood wound that you have not gotten through, that is going to reflect in your relationships, even just with your friendships and your day-to-day life activities. Okay, not to mention black spirituality in America is usually based on white Jesus, etc. That is not spirituality. That's religion. That's not spirituality. That's black religion. Being religious versus being spiritual are two very different things. Okay, I speak Spanish and Portugal fluently. Okay, I mean, Spanish usually is everybody's second language. I'm going to start learning Spanish. And I catch on to Spanish fast. Even now at work, when I hear people speak Spanish, I actually can't. Even when I was a little girl, people used to always be like, do you speak Spanish? My family, like I said, my family is Caribbean. Nobody ever used the term Hispanic because Hispanic is associated with a white-skinned motherfucker. But my family is Spanish as well. I think my cousin who has the Puerto Rican mother, I believe they speak Spanish. And I think about it. Okay. And then my grandfather, my great grandpa, my grandmother's dad, before his mother died, she came here from Cuba. I tell this story all the time. And he remembers speaking Spanish as a little boy before she had died in his arms. Okay. My dad is Black American and my mom is Puerto Rican. Okay, that happens all the time. Puerto Ricans, Jamaicans are the biggest Rolling Stones, and then Dominicans falls into a hard third place. But Puerto Ricans and Jamaicans are the hugest Rolling Stones. A lot of people be mixed with Puerto Rican and Jamaican. Jamaican first and Puerto Rican. I'm pretty sure I understand the difference. Black people in America are the ones who have confused it. Okay, you're still typing. Well, I don't know you. I'm going by what your words say across the screen. You're just, you know, I'm just reading what I see and speaking from it. Let's go back to this one right here. While you finish up that one, I'm going to go back to this. I never hear no one black refer the term spirituality to religion. I never hear religious people use that term, but spiritual people. Only spiritual people say that they are spiritual. And religious people identify themselves with whatever fill in the blank religion that they are. They say, I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. Christians are the ones that's the heavy hitters of expressing that as if, what does that even mean? Why are you telling me this? I don't know what that's supposed to mean. So that's what that is. But I'm still waiting on you to finish. Because you got the word I'm after who have confused it. Okay, let's go back. Again, like I said, I don't know what you know. You're a stranger online, respectfully, that I am responding to in the topic. That's it. Now, when you say black people in America, I'm curious, where do you live? What region of them? You don't have to tell me location. What, like, as far as like state, if you're not comfortable with that, but what region in America are you in? Are you in the northeastern states? Are you in the DMV? Are you in the South? That means below North Carolina. Are you in the Midwest? Are you in the West Coast? Are you in the northern West Coast? You see, I need to know, because everybody has a different black Black Americans is in America, duh, we get it, but there is still a different experience of how people experience black people depending where they are. Where I'm from in this New York City, the religious people who are at the top in New York City, I'm going to tell you right now, it's Muslim, Buddha, Rasta, and then all of the Yoruba, you know what I'm saying? The spiritual people. But then also, the Yorubas, the Jewish. How did I forget the Jewish? I got to put the Jewish at the top, actually. I'm from Minnesota. So you're from the South. Okay, you traveled all over. Okay. But have you been up north? Have you actually, it's one thing to travel, but have you lived? Meaning, have you lived in these places in totality to get the culture and the experience of the people? When I went to Philly, it was a whole bunch of Muslims and Hebrew Israelites. And then we also know a lot of Mormons are out there. You see how it works? So that, you get where I'm going with this. New Jersey, I couldn't even tell you nothing. I met a lot of God bodies from New Jersey, honestly. A lot of God bodies. But I never, if they're religious, Muslim in New Jersey. Let me keep going down. I didn't really get into the culture of Virginia because I don't like Virginia. And Florida is the Caribbean of America, so I was at Disney World, so I couldn't tell you what anything is because I never got to experience being around the family or anything. I've lived in these places: Michigan, Midwest, okay. Nebraska. Damn, where's Nebraska? That's like the Midwest too. I also travel outside of the country as well. Okay, so you have an experience of being outside the country. I don't know how long you've been here, but I did express that the European white is a different white than the Caucasian. I don't really consider these. I was just having this conversation with a friend. She keeps calling white people Europeans, and I'd be like, "Yo, nah, they not Europeans." I have to disagree with you respectfully. Not you. I was telling her. I was like, "No, the Europeans are the white people across the pond, as they say, and then over here are Caucasians." The Caucasians. That's a whole different beast. Now, if you live in the more big city areas, you know that there are more foreign whites. But the woman that I see that gets that ultimate European male is the African woman. Again, my experience, the African woman or any kind of black woman that may have, because technically, is she a black woman? A woman of color who's grown up in these other countries on the other side of the world, they are dating them. You get what I'm saying now? I mean, I feel like you're still typing, and that's fine. I have the patience to wait for you. Is it really 4 in the morning? It's crazy. Okay. I'm curious, what other countries have you traveled to? Because what is happening is this, okay? More than what I was telling this friend this too, because she was saying that she doesn't see black women date outside their race, and I had to put her on, and I was saying this. Listen, the percentage. Hold on a second before I get to the next comment. The percentage of black women dating outside of their race is much higher. See, it was at 3% because the Asian man and the black woman were the less percentage to date outside their race. They was at 3%, and it was at a standstill for a minute. Then as time went on, which is now, there's a high percentage of black women that are dating outside their race. I think it's on the hush. I really, really do. There's a lot of black women teaching them in America, right? Who are teaching themselves multiple languages, traveling to other countries, living in other countries, and dating in whatever country they're in. And this goes for both genders, whether she's with a male or a woman. It doesn't really matter. Let's go to the next comment. That's true. My brother plays professional basketball. Oh, okay. They act a bit differently. Even when we travel to Germany and Scandinavia, you can tell the difference. My brother is married to a black woman, and your brother's a black male. I take it because no, well, your brother is black and Puerto Rican, but still technically he's still black. Unless even if he speaks the language, he's still. I don't know if he's light skinned or dark skinned. I don't know what he looks like. I hate the hate he and his little family get is crazy. Oh, the hate is because he's a black male with a black woman. That's the hate. But if that black woman was dating a German or Scandinavian male, there would be no hate. That's a part of that's the whole purpose of divestment, is to pull the black woman from dating the black male altogether because it's not working for her. I'm just the messenger here. It's not working for her. I'm not saying that I disagree with that. He is dark skinned than me. Okay, I thought so. I called it. I thought so. He looks like LeBron James. That's that tall basketball player dude, right? Who mama raised him or something. Yeah, I think we're born the same year. We look more like Kevin Gates. Kevin Gates. Kevin Gates is light skinned, right? Yes, Kevin Gates is light skinned. Okay. Well, here's the thing. So you're black and Puerto Rican, okay, and you're light skinned black. I thought LeBron James was dark skinned. That's still, in other countries, brown is still considered dark skin, right? I just want to put that out there for you, and I don't say that in a shady way. That's still considered dark skin. If the skin is not light or easily to be bleached and turned lighter than what it is, or can go lighter than what it is, then it's, do you understand what I'm saying? Even though for us as black people, we like caramel and butter pecan and all of that, but for them who are completely, totally white, that's their standard of what a white, you get what I'm saying? It's more caramel tone, which is black looking to us. LeBron James is dark. Okay. Oh, Kevin Gates is not light skin. Okay. Is that a rapper? That's a rapper, right? Girl. I want to turn into a black woman, by the way. So I don't listen to hip hop and R&B, but I am an 80s baby. So I can know people from a certain time period. But these new people, yikes. Yeah. Okay. Which is black looking to right. Here's the thing. Come here. What the divestors have created, and I'm being serious, is a portal. And the portal that these divested black women have created is that, because they did create this, whether they realize it or not. Because it's a whole bunch of, you have the Exoticals United, you have the divested black women. No, no matter what, they both have the same thing in common. And what they have in common is to not date the black male, to hang up dating him completely, shut it down. And so what's happening is you are a black woman and you are walking around with a black male or anything that's perceived to be a black male, i.e., if you're with a masculine black woman. However, whether she's a soft masculine or a hard masculine, however you defined it, people are going to naturally hate it. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's, let me see this comment you said. Oh, I kept it up. That's the hate. And then the treatment and the public humiliation of many black women out here. It's like, I called this this year, months ago. I said, it's going to look like this. If you are a black woman with a black male, right? Because divestors are very male centered and they don't fuck with the rainbow mafia. Okay. It doesn't matter. But the thing is, if you are a black woman with a black male, it means that your life is fucked. It means that you can't be trusted. That's what has energetically happened. Okay. Other people call me a divester. Crazy how I speak more on black issues than most black people. Yes, black men have taken away too much from me spiritually. I don't wish to be masculine and I'm not male centered. Okay. I didn't, again, I don't know you. I'm getting to know you by what you're sharing with me. Okay. Well, I mean, I understand. But hold on, call me divester. Okay. You sound like you're divested. Um, I mean, I see what you said about your brother, but that's why I kept the conversation flowing from that on black issues and most black people. And yes, black men have taken away. Okay. I had to read that again. This damn fly gotta die. Get your bitch ass out my house. I hate this fucking fly. Listen, 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 listen. I feel everything you're saying. I hope that you hear me out. And I'm going to say it again. And I said this a few months ago. When you are a black woman, you're with a black male, or anything, even a masculine black woman, right? You are perceived as if your life is not shit and that you cannot be trusted. That is the portal that divestors have opened up. Do you ever know? Check this out, because I feel like sis that don't miss, and I feel like you won't miss what I'm saying. Have you ever noticed, and I'm talking about in close proximity, not who they're dating, but in close proximity from the main situations. Have you ever noticed that the black male and the black woman are close by each other when they get shot? Do you recall? I don't know how old you are. Do you recall when Facebook just started doing their videos? And boy, it was a shit show. It was a ghetto ass shit show. And there was one situation where a dude got shot in his chest. And the girlfriend was hollering, hooting, and screaming. She was a dark skinned woman, tall, big, dark, Amazon black woman. They shot him in the chest. They shot him in the chest. So she instantly recorded it on Amazon. I'm sorry, on Facebook. I don't think the dude died. I think he just got shot. I don't think he died, right? Well, she was with him in the car driving, and he was in the passenger side and got shot. This same woman got into it with the police, and they had handcuffs on her, and I think she ended up getting shot in the leg or something. Okay, I got another one for you. Breonna Taylor. She was he in there? Oh, they thought he was in the house. And she lost her life. Okay? I can go on. Remember the old black woman? They thought it was the black male in her house. Every time any woman is in close proximity, or any black woman is in close proximity, it is danger on the loose. Really, I've seen these black men with a white woman and or any other race of woman with this madness. I feel I was forced to be focused on black males, as most of us were, even though they didn't feel the same way about me. Huh. Do we want to even get into that part? They like my Puerto Rican background, but I was too black passing for them to find exotical, even my black dad. I'm glad you said that. I am really getting to know you now. Okay. I'm getting it, girl. I'm getting the picture. Now, I don't remember that first story. My own mother died at the hands of my black father, and he got away with it. Other black women still supported my dad unconditionally. Let's get into that, not that part. Please don't get into your trauma. I have Pluto in my 12th house next to my moon, if you understand astrology, so people can tend to make me their little confession booth. So you don't have to go down that road, but let's just touch this part right here. This says everything for the entire show. They do not give a damn about white supremacy and racism. That's what black women need to understand. They'll talk it all day, but they'll be with a white-skinned woman of another race that speaks another language and who has a mother or father that is neither race, because that is how he can still have access to something that is not black, but that is, meaning, excuse me, I meant to say maybe there's something black cultured about them. Maybe they're Creole, maybe they're Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, but sometimes they're straight Caucasian or straight white, right? He talks about racism and white supremacy, but he does not care. He honestly, to me, I think he only talks about it because he really wants access to it, or he wants access to the women in the culture. It's really fucked up manipulation that the black woman endures with that. Fully healed and licensed therapist. We can touch on all of it if need be. No, I want to touch on this right here. Respectfully, I say no to that part, but it still ties in. It still ties in because my condolences that this is a physical death that your mom experienced, but there's a lot of people where our moms have experienced a spiritual death in the hands of the black man, a soul death in the hands of a black man. There's so many black women I could say that if they just focused on themselves, if they just lived alone, if they didn't need to be glorified with a husband life or be in their ego, their life would be so much further than what it was. Okay. Okay. I think you are spot on with wanting access of they just want access. That's it. They want listen, just sit down and talk to one and then find out who he's with. You're going to gag. The black male can go and be with what looks more white, curly haired, pretty, light eyes. He can go for that. But he needs to know that when he births children with her, that you get what I'm saying? It's a selfishness thing that's there. So when he births children with this woman, that it's about, you get what I'm saying? How do I say? There's all this black rhetoric talk that he does amongst people who are not quote unquote black, where he can be empowered. But the thing is, he's just happy he's not with a black woman because he don't want to be with one. It's interesting to hear your perspective. Do you think this was common in your generation too in the 80s? Well, ugh, this been this way since slavery days. That quiet is kept. He was forced to be with the black woman. Go do your research on all of it. That black woman, they keep riding the coattail of this black woman, who they dragging it, not even just dragging this black woman who got it legal to marry a white male. She was not even a black woman. She looked very white passing, and she damn sure had a white father. There's no way she did not have a white father. That's what I'm saying. Like, what? What are y'all talking about? I mean, why do we keep okay? Let's take it back. What is the white male? What is he? He's a great record keeper. White people are incredible record keepers. I'm talking about from vinyl records, from artifacts in history. Look at the careers that they take on. History of interior design, history of fashion. I can go on. They're incredible record keepers. They're excellent at writing and creating, even if no one's looking or even cares about or even knows that they're creating and writing. Now, where am I going with this? Every movie that you've been showed, that we all been showed, you think it's an accident we've been told about the black male doing some shit with the white woman and getting lynched for it? I went into my show last time was about character. It's a long show, but it's worth the listen. And I talked about the movie A Jazz Man's Blues. He did that all for a white passing black woman. Do you understand that everything that you see with someone dating someone is not about love? People can date somebody and hate everything that they are, but still date them because they're envious and jealous of who they are. We all know that already. The black male wants the freedom that the white woman has that he does not have. We have to look at this. Okay, I got it. Men are men. I don't put white men on a pedestal either. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. It's not about putting him on a pedestal. He is a writer. He is a record keeper. The Jewish and the Greek male dominates anything with writing and screenwriting. You want to take a master class and learn how to write from the best? All the people I'm learning from are Jewish or Greek. And they're saying you need to read this from this philosopher. And this is what you need to understand from the philosophy in the ancient times of writing. And this is the principles and the laws of writing. This is all coming from them. It is Stephen King, a white male, who said, if you want to write better, you have to, he said, if you want to write a lot, you have to read a lot. Basically saying if you want to not have writer's block and you have to do a lot, you have to do more reading than writing. Stephen King said that. And then a black dude said, you don't have to read a lot to write. And that's why his shit looked the way and sound the way it do. And I think he's gone. I think he died. And I also see another thing, just sidebar here. There's a lot of rule breaking that black males do. They break too many rules when it comes to principles and laws of certain things. Because everything, when writing has principles and laws, playing chess has principles and laws. For example, you don't play your pawns first in chess. You never play your pawns first. You play from the middle of the game. It's all of these type of things with playing chess. Screenwriting. Everything moves the story. Even the dialogue has to move the story. You can't have useless dialogue in your story. Everything. Yeah, I'm familiar with the author Stephen King. Oh, we're all familiar with Stephen King. Of course. Well, I can't say we're all, but Stephen King is one of my favorite writers. He's the horror writer. You're going to see him all over, Stephen King. He was the one that, people were trading books in school, Stephen King. Okay, now let me get to my point. Let's get back to the black male and the white female, right? There is a psychological relationship that we all have with each other in America, in the Caribbean, that I think is missed. Okay? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you had slaves on the slave field. Everybody still lived and was each other's face. Why did the black male want the white woman? Because just like the black male felt like he was treated unfair, thrown to the side in this man's world, the white woman felt treated and unfair and thrown to the side in this man's world. Have you ever noticed the difference of the children? We don't have to go there. The children have spoken now to show, I wish I had a black mother. Because all the friends I have that have black mothers, they don't deal with racism and hate. The black male and the white woman comes together to spite their white daddy, which is the white male. If you didn't know this, they called their slave master daddy. Whether he was their father or not, he was referred to as daddy. Isn't that something? And then moving forward, the black woman hand was always dealt a little bit better with the white male. Because if she had children by him, her children can be free. But see, if the black man had children with the white woman, he was hung from a tree. And I did not rhyme that on purpose. But tell me I'm lying. They don't come, their life is Romeo and Juliet. That was a black man and a white woman. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Their life is a Romeo and Juliet tragedy. Go watch A Jazzman's Blues on Netflix from Tyler Perry. If you know if you don't fuck with him, A Jazzman's Blues is a movie I suggest you watch. And if you're a screenwriter, it is a great movie to study from. The dialogue is on point for all my screenwriters out there. The white woman ran the slave field, and she had owned them too. There's a book called she they were her slaves or something like that. I have to find it. It's about white women owning slaves too. And the black male can run the slave house, he can run the slave field and whip the other black people and all of that stuff. He did all that. But he still stood next to the white male and he had no power. And she had the same thing. She had no power. Everybody knows what kind of relationship it is between the black male and the white woman. But look how beautiful the world don't give a fuck about them. Do you notice that? But let a black woman be with a man of a non-black race and watch how much everybody loves it. I'm telling you, test yourself. Go watch an interracial love movie. Watch one with the black woman story, with the non-black male, and then go watch one with the black man with the black woman, what with a white woman or a white passing woman, and tell me how stupid and the criticism and how angry and how everybody be like, man, this nigga stupid. You die, you did. Like, a lot of those black men were dying over white women. Why? If we're going to go into black history, we got to touch on this, okay? Why in our black history, why do we have to hear about Emmett Till whistling at a white woman who his own uncle turned him in? Go listen to the story. Go find the story. It's real quick. And then you get where I'm going with this. Everybody roots for the love between the black woman and the non-black male. Tell me I'm lying. Even in real life, people roll their eyes at the children that come from the black male and a white woman. Like people just don't, like, I know what comes from this. Why are they children struggling like that? Why is this white woman with these mixed babies with this black male, why the fuck she got such a problem with me as a black woman? See? It ain't because she think I want his ass. There's something deeper, because that black male does not like me. And so therefore she's really going to not like me even if she wants to. You are so correct. Many times biracial children try to cling to me when I see them. Right. Because they are, because you're biracial, but are you really biracial? Did you grow up around your Puerto Rican family? Did you grow up speaking Puerto Rican language? Did you eat Puerto Rican food? Did you go to Puerto Rican family gatherings? Did you eat that big old pig that they chopped up? Yeah, I am black passing, but yes, I am familiar with both sides. Here's the thing, your complexion matters. Do you have brown skin? Do you have pecan skin? Do you have, which is that in between skin? Do you have white skin as a black Puerto Rican woman? Are you a light skinned black Puerto Rican woman? See, that matters too. But black and Puerto Rican don't necessarily, for the black male, that ain't really mixed. You need to be, that black blood got to be washed out of you, according to him. Him saying I'm flying across seas to get an overseas woman. Him saying all of this was him confessing really what he truly wanted. You see what else? So I would assume I am seen as darker brown. Yes, most people think I am Black American. Well, I mean, if you've been here long enough, then yeah. Okay. So I would assume I am. He does not want anything but what is the opposite of what he is. He is. I don't believe in the term self-hating unless you truly are self-hating. But he really doesn't. He doesn't. Listen, I'm going to tell you the truth. And I think I said enough. I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to leave it here. I'm about to roll over and sleep and listen to this audiobook and fall asleep. All right. I need y'all. I'll talk to y'all whenever I can. I don't know how much minutes I got on my free plan because a bitch ain't paying StreamYard. All right. I shouldn't even put that in the universe, but I'm not. Like, whenever this is up, I see y'all next month. All right. I'm out.